morning. Welcome to episode 2 of the Knitting Posse. I'm Kim.
I'm Laura. I'm Kate.
And I'm Lorien.
And we've got to start off by saying how blown away we
my
are.
gosh.
What a warm welcome. Your comments were so nice. We honestly just did this for fun, thinking, our moms would watch or cousins.
We would have been doing the happy dance if 10 people subscribed.
Yeah. And it's so cool that so many people are watching and enjoyed it, and from all over the world.
Yeah.
That's
really.
it's just blowing our mind.
Crazy. It's crazy.
So we're happy to be back together.
Thrilled. Yeah.
Thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
And
to have you here with us.
Exactly. So special shout out to two groups. One is the Forest City Knit Girls.
Yes.
Thank you so much for posting our, what would you call it? What is that called?
They posted in their stories on Instagram that we had a new podcast.
Yeah.
And we've never met them before, but we're hoping to meet them at Rhinebeck.
Definitely.
So,
and
Forest City Knit Girls, we're looking for you.
We'll be on the hill.
Fangirling.
Looking for you, not expecting anyone looking for us.
Right.
Also to our friends Dinah and Pam at the Knitting Place.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you
for the shout out.
Thank you.
So unexpected but welcomed.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So Laura, let's get started.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
Kim, what are you wearing?
I know.
Finally.
I did it, and it's still in style. I finished my Like a Cloud by Locatelli. I used Shibui knits, Seema, and Silk Cloud in the colorway Soup, and I love it. It took a long time because it's fingering, and I have freakishly long arms, so that takes Sleeve Island is really painful for me because it's I really have to knit my arms long, so it takes even longer.
Okay,
But
the best
it's so
compliment
worth it.
I can give you is that looks like something you've owned forever.
Oh,
like
that's
it's
awesome.
so you. It looks like something you would have bought in a store.
Yeah.
And like it's perfect.
Yeah,
Fit
thank
is
you.
really
Amazing.
good.
You like the swatch?
Kim, it must have been your swatch.
Thank you. I love it too. It was worth the heartache, the time.
Yeah.
It's a keeper. And like I said in the last podcast, I'm really trying to knit things that I'm going to wear.
Right.
So, yay, me.
Yay.
Yay, Kim. Yay, me.
I am wearing my ranunculus. Now this is interesting. I hope you can see that. I think everyone knows the pattern. It's wildly successful. So many people are knitting it. And when it first came out, I remember thinking, oh, I really like that, but it's not me. A lot of them were very loose and gauzy and summery, and they had very wide necklines, and it just, they're very cropped. It just, I thought that's something, I don't have daughters, but, that my daughter should be wearing it, not me. And then I saw 2 projects that I absolutely loved, and it inspired me to start. One, the first one was Kate, which she knit, which she wore last episode. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, because she took it and made it her own, and it's beautiful. And the other person was Kate Solomon, who is at Green Mountain Spinnery, who we keep running into at Vogue and Rhinebeck. And if you don't follow her on Instagram, you really should. It's Kate, KateSalomon. I love her projects. I love what she knits. I love her colors. And so she did a ranunculus with tuku wool sock. I used fingering and a mohair held together. And that was sort of the final, like, all right, I just got to do this. Everybody's knitting it. Everyone says it's fun. And you knit on 8s. The pattern calls for 10s. I went for 9s because I didn't want it too tight and fitted. But I went for 9s, and I have to say, I really like it.
It came out great.
It's going to be
and
a little
really
too
soft.
hot by the, it is. It's a little picky. The tuku is definitely, the mohair softens it. This is, so it's tuku wool fingering I used in the color Tarte, T-A-R-T-E. And then I paired it with the Ito Sensei mohair in a color called Cherry Blossom. And I actually picked the colors out online. I had to order them from 2 separate places because no one business had both of them. But I have to say, I really love it.
Really
I did the longer sleeves with the sort of slightly blousy
bell.
Yeah, with the I-cord bind off, and I love it. I'm a sleeve puller upper, and it works. I love it.
What's the difference between sock and fingering? I thought they were the same.
I'm going to assume that sock has a little bit of nylon in it because I think they're both fingering weight yarns. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Our resident expert.
Yes.
And I think they're very similar, but I would assume that the sock has a little bit of nylon.
Right. I also think sock yarns are generally always plied. Fingering maybe a single.
Okay.
Sock. I mean, you want the durability of a ply.
Yeah,
in
I
a
think
sock.
sock yarn is a little
I love it.
more durable. But anyway, so a sweater that I really didn't think I was gonna knit. It was so fun to knit.
It
this
was
whole
a really fun knit.
yoke was just it's so engaging and so fun, and I love it.
So
It
3
looks
of us
great.
have knit this pattern now.
And
So
I've
ordered my yarn. I'll save that.
To be.
Yeah.
You'll see that that's often a theme that we often sort of riff off
You
of
go
each other,
first, and I'll follow.
and if I like what you did, then I'm gonna,
Yes.
so it happens a lot.
Speaking of which, Laura made this Shake-a Rag top. This was in Mason Dixon's Field Guide number 6, and it is made out of jade sapphire silk,
Right.
which is a cashmere and linen blend. And I wear it all the time. I made it actually last summer, 2 summers
Two
ago.
summers ago.
Right.
Really?
And
I made one
it's-
also.
Yeah. I love it. I don't know if you can see the striping in it, but you hold the the yarn double for 4 stripes, and then for 4 rows, and then single for 4
Right.
rows. And it creates the
I
striping.
knit the same one, same color.
Same
as
yeah,
Kate,
Kim and I do the
it
same
fits
color a lot.
Great.
Yeah,
It fits great. It's very
yeah.
flattering. I like
It is.
everything about that sweater.
Yeah,
I do
it's
too.
amazing.
And I don't love to show my arms that much, but this style, this cut, is flattering.
Yeah, yeah.
did you say who designed it?
It was
Was
Amy
Mason-
Christophers.
Oh yeah. She did the whole. I think what they do is one designer for each field
Her,
guide.
yeah, I
Yeah.
believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a great piece.
It is
Looks
a good
great on you.
piece.
Thank
And
you.
it's
Thank
such
you.
a beautiful fall day here in Connecticut. This morning was a little chilly, so hence the longer sleeve. Now it's warming up.
I know I'm gonna be glistening by the end of
I
this.
tend to run hot, and so
Oh,
when I
no.
looked ahead at what temperature it was going to be, I'm like, yeah, I'm wearing this.
Right.
Lorien.
My turn. Okay, I'm wearing my LYS
I love that color.
sweater.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
It's a cardigan. It's designed by Andrea Mowry. It's knit in La Bien-Aimée Mondim, which is her collaboration with Rosa Pomar. The colorway is Yellow Brick Road, because I just had to do yellow for the
Right.
little yellow sweater, the LYS. What can I tell you? It has a lot of buttons. Okay, let's call out the elephant in the room here. Mine came out needing 17 buttons. I think I finished the knit in July, and I finished the rest of the buttons.
I think
Last
like
week.
that's a
Last
great
month, right?
color
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
your buttons
Yeah.
too. It
Yeah.
doesn't take
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Yeah, I think
so worth it.
Oh my
It's
god,
you.
it's yeah.
stunning.
The button,
It is
the buttons.
stunning. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the buttons
No,
are,
I love it.
I had
Yeah.
a really hard time with finishing, and a hard time with buttons and accessorizing my knits, if that's the right, or whatever, the finishing pieces. So the buttons are the best kept secret. They were 20 cents each. I found them at like a hardware store. So you never know where you're going to get stuff. And I just decided, there were other buttons that I liked more. They were mother of pearl, but these just didn't take away from
Exactly.
No.
the
That's what I was
lace
gonna say.
Yeah.
There's so much
pattern.
beautiful
There's so much
detail
going
there.
on.
Yes.
So
The last thing you want is your buttons screaming.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's a cropped fit. I wore my high waist jeans for this,
Yeah.
but I probably knit it a little longer. It's supposed to be a 3/4 length sleeve. I think I probably knit a bracelet
Like bracelet length.
length,
Yeah.
Is that,
so that I can pull it up. I'm not gonna lie, this yarn is a little textured,
Woolly.
a little woolly.
Yeah.
Well, it's fingering, so I also think it's gonna soften as I wear it.
Yeah.
There's a very good chance that I'm going to wear this to Rhinebeck. So I thought I'd wear it in
Then you'll be able to
case you
spot
decide
her.
Yes,
to look
yes.
for us.
I'm
And
probably gonna wear that.
I haven't put it in any of the knit-alongs, but it really qualifies for a few. So I may enter it in there now that I've actually
Is
finished
it
it.
top down or bottom up? Do you remember? I'm
You
sorry.
start with the
Question.
sleeves, actually. You start with
bottom
the
up.
sleeves, so it is
'Cause your
bottom up because
Cast on
yes.
is
Oh,
gorgeous.
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I
I
love
feel
that.
like it's I think Andrea's been pretty into the tubular
Cast on.
cast on
And probably cast
lately.
off too.
It's
So,
Really nice.
you know,
Yeah,
and for me,
looks
this is
finished.
different. I don't do a lot that's not in the round, and this was a back and forth. Usually, if I have a cardigan and color work, I'll stick. So it was
She's
just
great.
a little
Yeah,
bit
yes.
of a challenge. It was my first time knitting with La Bien-Aimée.
Did you
yarn.
alternate your skeins?
I did in the body. I do not in the sleeves. I'm a big believer in helical knitting, but I don't have the patience to do that on sleeves. So if you really examine, you might be able to see where, but because it's such a tonal yarn, it worked okay. But I did even back and forth, which isn't helical.
How do you
I
do
did
that back and
I
forth?
did back and forth and switched.
So like 2 rows,
Yep.
1, 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and I
Yeah.
think that color looks fabulous,
It
especially with your
does.
dark hair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
really
do not generally wear
No.
yellow because I have yellow undertones, but
No,
thanks
it
to the
looks
Fruity Knitting podcast,
Beautiful.
a few podcasts ago, they had a section on what colors you should wear,
I
and
need to watch that.
Oh, me too.
yeah, it was really interesting. So I'm
Huh.
I have very yellow undertones. I'm trying to wear more gold, warmer colors. So you'll see as
It's
we
beautiful
go.
on you.
Thank you.
It really is.
Nice.
Thank you.
It really is.
So, and I knit everything to pretty much to pattern. I want to say I have a 35-inch bust. I think it goes to 34 'cause it's supposed to be fitted, so I think that's the size I ended up going for. I tend to fall right in the middle of the sizes and adjust with blocking.
Beautiful.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Beautiful.
Really stunning.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go
Alright,
with.
what's next?
Well, do you want to? You have a few more finished objects, right?
Yeah,
Okay, 'cause
sure.
I don't. I'm
Sure.
just
I have
this,
one more too.
Okay, so.
All right,
continue.
shall we introduce our guest?
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah.
This is our mannequin, and today she is wearing a rug sweater. This is by Junko Okamoto. I actually bought the yarn at Connecticut Sheep and Wool last April
Mhm.
because I knew I would be in the fall watching our high school football games because my daughter is a cheerleader, and I wanted something in our town colors, which are navy and white. This was the closest I could find. And
Faded
I
navy,
just
yes.
thought this would be really good to have to throw on for the football games, and I wore it last night, so yay. The yarns are by, I need to look at this, Twist of Fate Spinnery, and they're bulky. They're very farmy yarns, pretty thick. So the cream color is by them. They're bulky, and it's 25% mohair, 75% wool.
It's a
Just
great
wool.
football sweater.
Yes.
You know, last night
Yeah.
was chilly, chill
Yeah.
in there.
Yes, and then the
Beautiful.
blue, I think is just gorgeous. It's this blue, and that is by Cold Goats Farm.
That's really pretty.
And I feel like one was thicker than the other. It didn't matter. It worked out. It's in a colorway denim, and I have so much. I will probably knit my husband a hat to match because he'll want something similar. So so I had fun with it. This pattern, I reversed the colors from this part here versus the pattern. Someone in Ravelry had done it. I really liked the look of it. I thought it was
Right.
bold. So that was that piece.
Very pretty.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Okay. Next was something I think I talked about starting, but maybe I don't remember.
so,
I had it
yes.
even on the needles
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah.
I think
So,
you did
here
show
you
a
go.
little piece of it.
Maybe
Wow.
I did.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that
This
really looks so
is-
pretty.
Oh my god.
On the Spice Market by Melanie Berg. I'm tempted to put pom-poms or tassels. I don't know. Let me know.
That would be fun.
Leave
Oh,
a
do
comment.
multicolored ones.
Yeah, I have a
tassels.
very little bit left of
The
most
colors.
of these colors, but the yarn, the minis, the various colors are by Playful Day Yarns, Tara Lynn, and I know if you want to hear the whole story, the backstory, and my dog, his involvement, you can listen to our first episode. And I was determined to put all of these beautiful colors together, and the main color is by White Birch Fiber Arts. Usually they do striping yarns, but this is a semi-solid in mushroom. And I had a
It's
lot of fun
beautiful.
with it. Knit it on the needle called for. It's by Melanie Berg.
She's great.
She's a
Yes,
master.
Yeah.
she is fantastic.
Shawls.
Next.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay,
This.
I talked about this, but I did not have anything started as of our last podcast.
It looks like a butterfly right
It
now.
does.
Yeah.
Well, so this is a shawl for my mom. My mom cannot wear wool. She just breaks out into rashes and gets very sensitive and itchy. Even superwash doesn't work for her. So we picked out some yarn together, and she asked me to knit her a shawl. I took a fantastic class by Susan B. Anderson, I want to say two years ago, Vogue, Knitting Live New York, and it was on shawl design or shawl shaping and construction. And it gave us a great recipe, and so I used a half hexagon shape, And I just wanted to add a little bit of cabling, a little bit of lace, and I'm hoping my mom loves it. It is in
It's
Rowan
gorgeous.
cotton cashmere.
Ooh.
So there you go. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So, and it's in, I think the colors are called charcoal and the dark gray and maybe just silver.
Are you
I like
going
it.
to post your pattern?
So pretty. I'm gonna hold it up
No.
one more time.
You want to know why? Here's why. I thought I was doing great with my increases and I was good and even. And one side has one extra repeat of the lace. Probably it's like 10 more stitches. Okay, you can't tell, right? So, Mom, if you're listening, it's still me with love, but it's not, it's a little imperfect, probably like me. So, but I think a half hexagon sits really nicely on your
It does.
shoulders.
It does. It's
And I
not
think
gonna
that's-
go anywhere.
Right, and that's how she's gonna wear it. She's not gonna do a wrap around her neck.
Yeah.
So,
The yarn is beautiful.
It is
it's
nice.
nice, right?
Yeah.
So, and if I were to post a pattern, it would say knit through the whole ball, then switch to this. That's when I split the cable when I finished one ball. So
Yeah.
I didn't really knit it to publish it, but
I was
maybe
telling
I'll get into
Laura
that.
this week we were talking about knitting things for special people, and I don't do it that often because I'm more of a selfish knitter, but I did knit my children blankets for going away to college, and when I bind it off, for each bind off I do an intention for them, and almost like a prayer or a thought, and so it's something like, like you said, it's imperfect, but it's for your mom and you knit it with love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it's nice to do that for special
Mm-hmm.
things. It depends, I guess, how long the bind off is too.
That's a good point. Yeah,
We'll
this
stop
is
at
all
300.
Right.
I don't think I
So-
could come up with 300 wishes or prayers.
It could just be as simple as, health or
Yeah.
happiness.
Oh, a word or an intention
Yeah.
for each
Yeah.
stitch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
beautiful.
thought it was just
Yeah.
one overall.
No, I did
Okay.
one for every
That's
bind off
special.
stitch.
That's
Oh
amazing.
wow,
I
that's
love
a
that.
lot.
It was just a washcloth. No.
No, it wasn't. She knit
It wasn't.
beautiful
Blankets.
throat blankets
Yes,
for
they're
their
gorgeous.
college
Yeah.
dorms.
Please
Maybe
don't
you
get
can
sick
show-
on this blanket.
Maybe you can show them next time.
I will, yeah, I
Don't
will.
share with
Yeah.
anyone else.
They're beautiful. Yeah.
Kate.
Okay. Do you
Oh,
have another FO?
I do.
Oh, good.
I
Okay.
do. I actually have a few FOs. My first one was just a little, again, this was my road trip knitting. I went to Boston last weekend, the weekend before, and it's called Ripples and Ridges Scarf, and it is by Nancy Kleber, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. I used a sport weight held double. It's supposed to be like a
Oh.
bulky or a super
Yeah.
bulky.
Oh, that's good.
But my friend Linda had knit one in like a cranberry color like this, and she wears it around the holidays, and I thought that's just
That's
so
very
fun.
cute.
Like,
Awesome.
and
Very cute.
it's just
Oh, I had that.
It's a little
Linda
pop
take
of
it. How many
color,
exits did
right?
that take?
Yeah, it took a while
Really?
actually. My arthritis was kicking up, so yeah. But no, I knit it. I knit it like on the way to Boston. So this
Did you
was
have
like
that
on
in
the
your
way.
stash, or did you buy some?
I had this in my stash. Actually, this was a yarn that I won a $25 gift card on Instagram. From Fairlight Fibers, and I chose this yarn.
It's a really pretty cranberry.
I
It's
know.
gorgeous, and it's really soft.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
really soft.
I really like it.
Yeah,
I
I
kind of
can
want
make
one because I
Yeah.
never have
Yeah.
red
I like
at
that.
Christmas
I
time.
don't either.
I
I
never-
go with all my black and gray.
Yeah, exactly.
My pop.
Exactly. So that was just
Really
a fun
pretty.
little
Love
knit.
I love this.
Okay, now this one has a backstory. This one is called the September House Sweater.
Super, so pretty.
It is by Kirsten Kapur. And this is knit with the Koigu Kirsty Merino in a DK weight. This was, in a former lifetime, a 3/4 sleeve pullover sweater, which was a pattern from Vogue Knitting Magazine, like 1985.
Seriously,
That I
What
saw.
was that? Was it
I
that
think it
old?
was. I think it was.
Wow.
I don't know.
And so Lorien had it. What? Maybe it
I
wasn't.
don't think it was
Was
that
it
old,
95?
but nevertheless.
Maybe 95.
It was a long
I
time
don't know.
ago.
It was a
It
long
was a
time
while
ago. But
ago.
Lorien actually had the magazine, and I had been obsessing about the sweater. I don't know where I had seen it, but I just loved the colors. So I knit the sweater, the entire body of the sweater, and as I'm trying it on, I'm like, I don't think this is right. I don't think this is right. I don't think this is right for me.
I have a question
And-
for you. Did you swatch?
Well, Laura, no, I did not swatch.
What a shock.
No, however, I don't think it would have mattered
I don't
for
either.
that pattern, because for that pattern, they have you cast on the same number of stitches for your yoke, whether you're knitting a small or an extra large.
I think it was just the
Wow.
style.
I think it
a
was.
huge.
It was
Kate
big.
swimming
There was
in
a
it.
lot of fabric.
It was, you got lost.
So-
Right, but I thought your stitch gauge was on,
It was.
but your road gauge was quite off.
A little bit.
And
Yep.
so that
Yep.
really made
Yep.
the difference. But
Yep.
we didn't know that until you'd already knit most
Yeah.
of the
Whole
sweater.
sweater.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, if you like watching that kind of thing on my Instagram, you can see me unwinding the sweater on my yarn winder. So I wanted something else with these three colors, and
Because the color combos are
yes,
fabulous.
Lorien had knit this sweater, and she recommended it to me, and I love it.
Yeah.
So that's that. My second FO was a whip last time.
I love that.
And it
Great
is
colors.
my Soldatna top by Caitlin Hunter. It knits up so
fast.
so fast,
And fun.
really fun.
I might have to
It
go
blocks
there.
out.
You should.
It blocked out beautifully. I knit mine much longer than what the pattern calls for. I think the pattern stops you somewhere like up here. So
Not happening.
there's a lot
Yeah.
more. Yeah, there's
Maybe
a lot
when I
more
was
there.
20.
Yeah. And I knit it with two-handed knitting,
Ooh,
which yes,
big girl.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
yeah.
the same thing.
I know. Which was very exciting for me because I am not a
Beautiful.
continental knitter. I am a thrower, and I just love it. I love it, love it,
I
love it.
love the colorway.
I think you could have worn that today.
you
too.
could have.
I would have been too hot.
Yeah, you do
I
right.
think that if I ever do get to that, I'm gonna make it in a cotton or like a cotton
I think
cashmere.
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because
it's a spring.
I'm never gonna wear wool in the
Mhm.
winter, short sleeve wool in the winter,
Yeah.
and if it's wool in the summer, it's too much. So
I
It
will
is.
wear short
So
sleeve
that-
wool
yeah.
in the winter because
yeah,
like
I don't like my
I
arms in
will
the winter.
wear I'll wear long sleeve tee with it. I'll wear a
Okay.
long sleeve tee under or like a button down.
Oh,
You know, like
yeah.
a white collared shirt.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's cute.
Okay, I like that. I want to see that.
So
Yeah.
depending on weather, this might be my rhineback sweater.
I know. I
But
love
that's
that.
TBD.
Yeah, it depends on what the temp is there.
Yes.
Because we know it could be 90 degrees
Right.
or snowing.
Yes. Yes. And hailing like
Hailing,
last year
like,
at the
oh my
end.
God.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
that's
did.
right.
Yes,
you
it
were
did.
racing to the car
Yes.
at the end.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So.
All right, Miss Laura.
Okay,
you're up.
so my other finished FO is, and I'm bringing this in part because it's huge. First of all, it's going to be very hard to see. It's the Korea
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
shawl by Amba O'Brien,
Oh my gosh.
and I really loved it when it came out, and
That's so cool.
So pretty.
yeah, it's huge. That's the only problem. I've got to figure out how to actually wear it. But Kate wanted to go to the knitting place. Shout out. We love these women, Dinah and Pam.
Yes.
Because you wanted to knit a baby blanket
baby
that had a
blanket,
very
yes.
that pom-pom
It
yarn.
Yeah, I think it's
And
called,
she really wanted to see
I
the
don't remember
colors
what
in
it's called.
person.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And the only day we could go was a Wednesday, which apparently they're shut. And when Kate reached out to Dinah, this woman is amazing. She's like, "Oh yeah, come.
Just
We're
come,
podcasting. Come." She opened up the store for us on a Wednesday,
Yes.
and I had this as my I really want to knit this. It was a dream knit at the time, and
So soft.
I swear to God, she almost pulled the whole store apart, like pulling down color combos for me. What about this? What about this? What about this? I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. She's like, no, I do this all the time. So I ended up knitting it in Anzula Squishy, and the
feels just like that.
it's
It
good.
is.
It's
It-
so
yes.
yummy. The pinks and purpley pinks are Irene, Rosebud, and Lenore, and then the piece that's sort of the bold is just black.
Sounds like a bridge
Oh.
group.
Rosebud and Lenore.
Rosebud and
Bunch of
Lenore.
gray-haired old ladies playing bridge. Yeah, I got you. Anyway, I absolutely love it, and honestly, part of what I love about it is that it reminds me of the knitting place, and they embody every single thing that a local yarn store should be, and we wish that they were a little bit closer. They're not far. We can go there, but they were just
They were fabulous. Yeah.
like
yeah.
it. Just words are hard to find. They were
Yes.
just welcoming and delightful. So
Yes.
I love this in part because I bought the yarn there, and Dinah really helped me pick out the colors, and I love it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's gorgeous.
I think you'll wear it a lot. It's,
I do.
It's
Yeah.
light enough.
It-
It's big.
it's
but
big.
it's light enough that you can wrap
Yeah.
it around tight under
Yeah.
a coat
Yeah.
Yeah.
and be comfortable in it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I really do love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Amber O'Brien's one of our
Oh, yeah.
collective
We
like
do
favorites
love
her.
for
Yeah.
shawl
Yes.
designs, I think.
For
Right.
one skein to
Yeah.
6 skeins,
Yeah.
Yes.
she really
Yes.
is a beautiful designer.
Mhm.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
have yarn for another one waiting, and it keeps sort of floating up in my mind, and one of these days I'm going to get to it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, so
So-
let's do some whips.
Go ahead.
Why don't you
Okay,
start?
Yeah, you
I'll
start.
So this has been something I've been working on for a long time. It's one of those projects that I just keep around. It's the En Voyage by Lisa from Espace Tricot. I'm big fans of theirs also. I love their aesthetic. Anything they make, I'm like, yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
And but so Lisa was mentioning that this is a great travel piece, and I get chilly on an airplane. I just want to wrap myself up in something, and I love the color black. But it has a
It's
nice
really
little cabled panel down one side and a little ribbing on the other. It's nothing fancy, but it is. I think I'm going to use it a lot. But it's
Yeah.
going to just take a long time because it's a lot of skeins of Kelborn Woolen Scout.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the charcoal heather color. I just figured black would be perfect for travel, and it will match everything I pack, and won't have to worry about getting it too dirty. So I think it will be a fun project to finish and have and use a lot. So
And just a shout out to Lisa and Melissa. They, we've bumped into them at Vogue Knitting in New York and at Rhinebeck for the past couple of years. And last year
or
we
like,
actually,
hi.
yeah, we had a really great conversation with Lisa, and we were telling her we were thinking about doing a podcast, and she was so, she's like, you just should do
Encouraging,
it. You
yeah.
should just do it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Lisa and
Yay.
Melissa. Yeah, and
Assuming
here we
you're
are.
watching,
Yes,
we'd be
yes,
flattered if
yes,
you were watching.
Yes.
They're another
Oh, I wish we
local
lived near
yarn
that.
store that we live
fabulous.
close to.
Kate's
Yes.
gone a couple
I've been
of times.
the past 3
Three
years
summers
now,
you've
actually.
dragged
The
your boys
last
there?
3 summers. Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
They're good
There are some
boys.
great
Yes.
restaurants in that area where they are.
Yeah.
Need a girls
so,
trip.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
love it.
Mhm.
So,
So
did
many.
you see actually on their Instagram, they're creating a
Yeah, there's
whole
space.
like space, a
Atelier.
maker space.
Yes. Right.
Downstairs. So maybe we'll go up for a
Yeah.
weekend to
Maybe
For
we
a
could
program.
just stay in the
program or
atelier.
something, right?
Yeah, it's an
Who needs an
Airbnb on
Airbnb,
there.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's just a big living room with couches
Yeah, I
and
know.
chairs.
Yeah.
Oh, we could
Yeah.
Yeah.
sleep on the couch.
So I also
Okay.
have one more whip. It's a hat. I ordered some yarn. I'll talk about that coming. So after I finished Like a Cloud, I just figured a hat would be a fun, quick little project.
You've made this
I
before.
have made this
love
before.
This
I
What is
love
this
this
one?
hat. It's called Beer on the Dock by, which is perfect.
Cute.
Thea Coleman.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I've made it in Quince and Co. before in a gray, and I wear it a lot.
You do.
So, but I do, like I said to Lorien, I love this color. It's Kelborn Woolens, also Scout. I think
It
it's
is?
called, yeah, yep. It is called, what's the colorway? Sunflower Heather.
Really pretty.
It's a fun knit. It's just got a little bit of, I guess you would call it lace work, but enough that you can watch TV and do
Yeah.
it. And
It's like
A cable.
yeah, it is a
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
textured.
Cable texture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's once
Yeah.
it
Oh,
blasts,
yarn
there's a
overs,
little
yeah.
bit of some yarn overs in there. So, like I said, I'm
Pretty.
a hat person. I ski. I'm outside in the winter playing sports and can't have too many hats.
There you go.
So, and it's a quick
And
knit.
it's quick, it's fun.
It
Yeah.
is fun.
It is fun.
And
Fun,
after this,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
you
oh,
Yes.
got something fun.
I'm not waiting another 3 months for a finished object.
That's almost chunky compared to this.
I know. This is like it's like Fisher Price needles. So that'll be done probably today as I wait for the yarn to come.
Okay, so my whip is going to lead us into our discussion, my current obsession.
All right, sit back, everyone.
With Julie Hoover. So was that last week? No, 2 weekends
Two
ago.
weekends
Two
ago.
weekends ago. We're so lucky that we live just outside of New York and can, hop on a train and go to events in New York. And Mayak has this beautiful space in New York down in the Village, right?
Yeah, I would
Somewhere,
say
Yeah,
somewhere,
close to
yeah,
the village.
around
It's
the Village.
right around the border.
It's on the second floor. It's got a whole like wall of windows, so it's very
The
light and
is
bright. And
beautiful.
they do a lot of events, and so Julie Hoover, I think this is her third year she's doing, she's a designer that I believe, and I don't have all the details, she worked with Brooklyn Tweed for a long time. I don't know if she did stuff before them, she must have, but she did a lot of designing for Brooklyn Tweed, and I have to say 50% of her sweaters that she did with Brooklyn Tweed I've either made or they're in my queue. And she's got a really very simple, am I going on too long?
No. We did count up our Julie Hoover things in our queue.
Yeah.
I think I had 12 and
Did you?
I had like 32.
So she has a very classic, simple design aesthetic, but there are always just very beautiful details, finishing details. She's all about cast-ons. So she did this presentation. I was fascinated. She talked a lot about swatching,
Oh my God, her
which
swatches.
I'm obsessed
Her
with.
swatches
She
were
literally,
gorgeous.
all the tables, she passed around piles of swatches that we could feel and touch, and it was amazing. So she also does this sweater club. I think this is her third year doing it.
So, yeah.
And because we were at this event, we got in there like about 2 weeks early, and there was a cardigan and a sweater, and this is going to be very hard to show, but this is her Keller sweater, and it's very hard to, it's just a very basic ribbed sweater, but she had samples, and I think if I had just seen this, it would not, like, just seen it online, on Instagram or Ravelry.
You would like it.
I would like it. I would definitely go, oh yeah, that's classic Julie Hoover, but I actually got to try this on, and this is actually, this one's slightly cropped. She has another version. There was a minty green one that was a little bit longer, and I actually tried this on,
It was beautiful.
and I was done.
Yeah.
Because like you, I'm very much on this quest to knit things that I know I want in my wardrobe, that I will reach for. I want to knit a sweater that I want to wear so many times a week that people get sick of it, and that's hard to do for me. Then the other part of my quest is when I tried this on, I wanted that exact sweater. Like, I wanted to be able to recreate it. I wanted my gauge to be on. I wanted my length to be on. I wanted my finishing to be as good, and so she actually talked a lot in the class, but also in the pattern about swatching, and she takes a different approach than I've ever heard before to swatching.
This fabric is beautiful.
That
That looks nice.
like in the past, I actually have really tried for the most part to swatch, and I'll just, throw like however many stitches per 4 inches, I'll do a few extra, I'll just kind of go whatever length, and just put a little, I'll block it, wash it, block it, and then just put one of those rulers down and be like, oh yeah, that looks close, and go. Julie's whole approach was, she casts on so she does 8-inch swatches for a more accurate
She wants
reading
the drape
gauge.
of the fabric.
Yeah. So I cast on exactly twice the number of stitches, I don't know offhand, plus a selvage edge on each, and then I knit exactly 8 inches worth of rows, and then instead of just washing, blocking, and then sort of measuring it, I actually blocked this to achieve 8 inches, and then she says, you have, especially because this is a ribbed fabric, so I'll show you, I just finished, I don't know if you can see the contrast. I just finished the back last night, and when you knit it, before you block it, the ribbing naturally pulls in, and
So sorry, this is not blocked, correct?
No,
Correct,
I just
okay.
cast it off last night. I was hoping to have this blocked and ready. So this is very sort of narrow right now, and when you block,
It's a big difference.
she actually says that you should wait 48 hours after you take it off the blocking wires to see what the real, and that might be more for ribbing because it does tend to want to pull back in.
The accordion, yeah.
So I got like, this should be 8 by 8, and I think it was like 7 by 7/8 by 7 by 7/8. So I was a tiny bit small, but I decided to go ahead anyway. Because I'm knitting the size 2 and it is a very oversized
Right,
body
yeah.
with a more fitted sleeve, I think I'll be fine. But I am going to, so I just finished the back last night, literally, and I'm going to wash this and block this and wait 48 hours before I
Even begin another panel,
yeah,
right?
I'm really going to be a big girl and do it right. Because if it's wrong, I don't want to keep going ahead.
Right.
I've always enjoyed top-down construction because you can fix
try it
things easily, you can try it on, and when you knit in pieces, obviously I do not want to sew this all together and put it on and go, ugh.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
sorry for my diatribe, but
talk
not
about
only
the yarn.
Oh, okay. So, so the reason that she was at Mayak is her sweater club. I think I know her sweater club. When she releases the 2 patterns, they're in the same yarn from the same company, and so I think they've had a relationship for a long time. But this year, her
Right, because she has that Luca shawl that we love, and that's in the Maya.
yeah, the lace.
Right.
So this is a brand new Mayak yarn called Tibetan Cloud, and I don't know if I want to read the whole thing, but and this is the neutral just color. It's called Wild Daisy, and the colors are the other colors are gorgeous. But I just really wanted that like basic. I wear jeans like almost every day, all winter long, and this to me is just that classic sweater. It's too long to read this, but they're very, I'm not going to be able to do this justice, but Mayak is very interested in working with the Tibetan people and using their old customs and the way they make the yarn, and I'm not going to do it justice, but it's a really cool company. And so Julie Hoover designed both the cardigan and this pullover in this Tibetan Cloud, which is a brand new yarn, and it's like soft, but it's still got structure and drape to it, and I'm in love.
It's like a cloud.
So there's no way I think I'll have this for Rhinebeck. I don't think I can possibly pull that off, but maybe for the next podcast.
Because you have to let it dry for 48 hours between each piece.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was a great event.
It was really,
her process of designing. I didn't realize it takes her a year to make one sweater.
Yeah.
From start to finish. I was like, whoa, I will not be a designer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I was really, I enjoyed the event, and I feel like I got a lot out of it, and I'm really, like I said, on this quest to make sweaters that I really love and make sure that they really fit properly. Right?
Now, in the sweater club, in addition to the color, there was a cardigan.
Yes.
Do you remember the name of it?
I don't, and I got both patterns, but I only bought the yarn for this.
The cardigan was
gorgeous,
just as beautiful as the color.
And again, really simple, but so much detail into the finish, the pockets, the ribbing, the fit where it's kind of loose, so that most people throw a cardigan over stuff, and you know, it just
both sweaters
I
were gorgeous.
just am in awe of her design, aesthetic, and abilities.
Right.
And so enough. I'm not going to speak for the rest of the podcast. I got my time allotment in.
Someone's got a crush.
I wish I had that ability. I wish I had that ability. I really do.
Me too.
I really do.
Oh, she was incredible.
Yeah, really. It was a great event.
Yeah.
Made me want to go to everything that Mayak does, if or not everything, but as much as we can.
Yes, and Paola's space. It was amazing.
I'd like to live in that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I'm sure lots of people.
And actually, right around the corner from that, we'd be remiss if we didn't say it. I actually looked it up last night.
You did. You're funny.
The Sweet Corner Bake Shop on Hudson Street has
Best cookie.
the most amazing chocolate chip sea salt cookies. Oh my God, it was
warm out of the oven. Like a
They
meal
were-
in and of itself. They were huge.
They were so good.
the kind that you get chocolate on.
We walked a
And
lot,
we didn't
so
care.
Yeah, we did that day.
We did.
Yeah. All right,
So-
so.
All right, Kate, what do you have?
Okay, so for my whips, I have two different things. The first one is called the Princeton Capelet.
We're gonna actually do show notes this
Yes,
episode.
we are. We're gonna put show notes on
We're gonna
Ravelry.
put it on Ravelry on our page.
And this is by Sylvia Hager.
I'm gonna make
For Blue Sky Fibers.
Yeah.
And it's done in the Blue Sky Fibers Eco Cashmere, which is a mixture of recycled
yummy.
cashmere and
Do you want to hold that up?
I think it's showing
I think
pretty
it's
well.
I mean,
Okay,
it's
I'm
not
here.
much to show. It's just a circle. It's going to be it's a poncho.
Yeah.
And it
It's
has kind of a
so
cowl neck. I've actually made one already. And you can throw it on as a poncho, but then you can also like bunch it up if you have like a coat on or something,
Like a
or to
cowl.
get into the car, like with putting a seatbelt on.
Yeah.
You can bunch it up as like a cowl.
Yes, what
Um,
is this?
This.
You love
Actually, I
those.
think
She
I
does
talked
love
about
those.
it last time.
So-
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
I don't remember the company actually. I think a bunch of companies make them, but it's like a metal like needle keeper, and I have the wooden licky needles, and I keep it on there so that when I shove them in my bag, the needles don't break.
Smart.
Oh, I've broken.
That's yeah.
Mhm.
So that's
That's
what
that.
that's all about.
It
That's
would
my,
also be good if you had, this doesn't have a lot of stitches, but if you had a lot of stitches and you didn't, it's also,
to hold them on there.
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
If you don't have a longer cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kate,
Yeah.
I love that capelet. Can you make that neck not as full?
Yeah, so actually in my first one, I made it in this color. I think this color is called like Midnight Oil. This one I think is called Arctic Snow.
That's a
And I
beautiful
made
color.
the collar a little bit shorter because I
Okay.
didn't want as
Yeah,
much
that's
there
I
around
like
my
my
neck.
collar to keep me warm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
You
So
could maybe
the answer is
decrease
yes.
a little
That's
bit
what
more
I'm
And
and
you
make
could,
it.
so the decreases stop like right around here. You could just keep decreasing.
Keep decreasing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can,
yeah.
You
can
can
do
do
that.
not if, yeah. I'll
Yeah.
be calling you guys.
And then my second whip is
Your Elton.
the Elton by Joji Locatelli.
oh my god.
It is so pretty. Oh, I love the color.
And I am making
Wow.
it in Nice and Knit. Actually, you might want to turn it around to the back, Kim, like
Alright,
that.
just give me a little
Yep,
more.
go ahead. Yep,
The more
pull it out.
Let's
It's
see.
Nice
Ugh.
and Knit yarns. They're mohair and they're silky single.
That color.
And the color is called Olive Juice. So,
I love their yarn.
it's beautiful.
I wish they.
It's beautiful.
It's
They're
hard
local
to, get it
to
right
us in
now.
Connecticut.
I know. It's hard
But
to
they
get.
will be at the New England Fiber Festival.
I know. I was saying that, Denise.
So, if there's something specific you want, you should reach out to them before we
Yeah,
go there,
that's
so
true.
then maybe
Yeah.
they can
Well,
hold
I
it
love
for you.
that color. But
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
tell you what. They'll tell you
Yeah.
what they're bringing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's stunning.
It's beautiful. And again, like I knit the Like a Cloud and I love it. And so I figured this was kind of similar weight,
Yeah.
similar,
Yeah.
so
Another fabulous designer, obviously, Joji
yes,
Locatelli.
yes, I love all of
That, there was
Prolific
not
and-
one
yes.
thing on that pattern that I didn't understand. And as a
Right.
newer knitter, you know, I read it before I start, and it was well written.
Mhm.
So that's my other whip.
Nice. I love
This
that.
is gonna take a while, like yours
I know.
did. But
I
you know what? I
know.
might do a couple more of the stripes. So you hold the mohair for 4 rows and then the silky single for 4 rows. I might do a couple more stripes, and then I might do my sleeves, so I don't have the sleeves to do at the end
I
because
think
I
that's
hate
smart.
the sleeves.
Yeah.
That's smart. Me too.
Get it over with.
does
And I
everyone hate sleeves?
may do 2 at a time magic loop sleeves too, because that's my newest thing.
Oh.
Lorien taught me that.
way to go.
And
I did magic loop,
They're
but
done.
one at
Yeah.
a time.
But then they're done.
I know,
Well,
they're
at the
I'm
same
so
time.
confused. Like when you pick it up, how do you know where you start when you pick it up?
That's a whole nother episode.
It's the same as doing 2 at a time magic loop socks.
I've never done
Under
that.
you start in the bottom, and
But
on the
once you
other
put it down and you come back to it 5 days later, do you know where you have to start?
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll
I
do
mark
a
which
podcast on
which
that.
sleeve I started with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
And you need
Yeah.
2 balls of
blowing
yarn.
my mind.
Actually,
Well,
this
you're
would
gonna
be
need
4 balls of yarn. So
yeah. But I've
we'll
done that.
see.
And that doesn't get all tangled up and crazy, especially with
Well,
mohair.
you have to be careful. Like
Yeah.
I untwist it every few rows.
Yep.
As I'm going along here.
Mhm.
So, but I'm enjoying it.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, let's keep going. We're gonna try to keep this.
Do you have any whips?
Yes. Always.
Yeah, I know.
One for showing. This is
Okay.
called
Kim?
My Sister's Braids. It's a pattern by Victoria Burgess. I'm knitting it in Malabrigo, I want to say Rios.
It is
Rios.
Rios. Yeah.
Rios
so pretty.
in the
Sunset.
colorway Sunset. This was going to be one of my 2 red projects when we saw you last time, and I happened to be in the neighborhood of a quasi-local yarn store for us, and I had some time, and I didn't love the reds, but I loved this orange.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
gorgeous.
I felt like, all right, I'm gonna do this pattern in the orange. So if this is not my Rhinebeck sweater, this will be my Rhinebeck shawl.
There you go.
I'm gonna wear that color sweater too.
You
I
are?
think of
Okay,
Rhinebeck.
we'll be matching.
You will be
Okay.
matching. You two need orange sweaters.
So
Don't
actually,
have.
this
I
is
don't
it's a
either.
top down. So
I might.
it's actually
Again.
gonna be like this. And I really like this thick border.
I do too.
Yeah, it's
This
nice.
thick
Yeah.
garter border. It
Yeah.
has tassels. I think the tassels make the shawl.
I
Yeah.
like the yarn.
Yeah, it's
Malabrigo
a really
This
nice.
cable
knit.
is really pretty.
It's pretty
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Commercial yarn.
I had to rip back about 16 rows because I missed an increase on one side, and I don't know. I felt like I should take it back. It
Good for
wasn't
you.
something I could fix. If it were cable, I could have fixed it, but increases, decreases.
So
No.
as you're increasing,
You could go back and drop down a cable and fix it?
Yes,
Wow.
you could too.
Oh, God.
as you're
not without your
increasing,
help.
are there more braids that come into
There
it?
will be, so yes, there will be, what did I add? There are 2 more on each side.
Oh wow. Okay.
Or maybe 4
Pretty.
more on each side. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm not that far. But I have a long car ride today, so hopefully I'll
Pretty.
make a dent. And it uses about 4 skeins
Wow.
of this. So it's going to
I
be a
like working
really
with that yarn. Did you?
substantial. Oh, I love
Yes.
it. Yeah,
Was
it's going to be
yours
really
in the Malabrigo
substantial.
Rios as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sunset
Same.
color.
Same color,
Same
yeah.
exact color.
Yeah.
It
You'll be
was,
twinning.
it's
So
a
this is
creamer.
part of my trying
Oh,
to
yeah,
wear
very
warmer
good.
colors. Less blue, more yellow-ish
Okay.
base
It's beautiful.
colors. So
Really
I'm
pretty.
excited. I'm having fun with it. I was ready for a different cable project.
Right. So,
Yes.
Nice.
let's see. What's I want to tell you just one thing. My next project is going to be the Colvin. I pre-ordered the yarn.
Julie Hoover.
Julie Hoover, but the yarn's from Hinterland Farms, and but it won't be here till the middle of October. So I'm kind of bummed about that, but that's okay. And also, then I was like, well, I can't wait till the middle of October, and I'm gonna knit the ranunculus. So I ordered Chelsea Lux yarn
Yes.
and exposed brick, but I thought it would be here by now, but it's not. She must be busy. So
Maybe today,
maybe
Saturday.
today, maybe it
Yeah.
will come this
Yeah.
week, and that's what I will cast on as I wait.
Nice.
I'm a little nervous about this neck cast on. I was starting to read the pattern, and it sounds a little tricky, but
It's not tricky. I just pulled it really tight because some of them are really gaping.
yeah, I don't want the
Yes.
gaping.
And
I like a tight.
yeah, and the only modification on this is I think I told you.
Yeah,
You do short rows in the
rows.
back and in the front, and I kind of wish that this was just a tiny, maybe like one
repeat shorter
yeah,
in the front.
exactly.
Well,
to give me a little, but
I'm
it's
looking
not bad.
forward to
Yeah,
starting it.
it's a
'cause it
really
looks great.
fun,
Yeah.
especially this.
And we both did. So there are 2 different necklines. There's a
Tight
smaller
neck, right.
neckline and a wider neckline. I did the wider neckline. I believe you did as
yes,
well.
I did
Um,
the cast on for it,
Right. Right.
but I pulled it tight so that
Yes.
it wasn't so.
and ours
gaping.
were both on smaller needles than what it actually called for, so
Correct.
the gauge was different.
I didn't the wide neckline, but I used the needles called for.
You did. Yeah.
But yours was big and fluffy, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not
The
like
cotton
as
candy yarn.
yeah.
The cotton
Have you
candy.
managed to
Yes.
keep that in your wardrobe, or did your daughter steal
No,
it from
so
you?
far I still have it.
Okay. Anybody have anything else they want to add?
Like what we're planning, or we haven't gotten to that?
We haven't gotten to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I have
yeah.
no dream knitting right now because I'm so focused on this color,
Yeah.
and
She's dreaming
I'm-
of
yeah.
getting her color done.
I'm dreaming of trying this on and having it be the sweater of my dreams. That's what I'm dreaming.
My dream knitting actually is a sweater that I tried on at the Mayak event. It was a Julie Hoover
Oh, yeah.
pattern, the Hatcher, and it is knit in North Lake Fibers Water Street yarn, and the color I believe is called Dockside. And I had a few skeins of yarn from North Lake Fibers that I had bought to make an Andrea Mowry brioche shawl. I think it was called Ramble.
It
And
was a beautiful shawl.
I just haven't gotten around to learning brioche, and I was like,
it's a
I'm not
fun
sure.
You will.
I probably will, but
Yeah.
I I tried on this hatcher and I was like, oh my god,
It's
I need
beautiful.
this.
We tried to walk out with a couple sweaters.
Oh, I said if I could have walked out with that color and
Yeah.
gotten away with it, I'd be wearing it now.
So I actually emailed North by Fibers, and they said they would exchange
That's
the
so
yarn
nice.
that I have. Plus, I had to purchase a few more skeins, and so that's in
great
the mail.
business. That's
Yay.
smart.
So that's my
business.
next.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's
Yeah.
my next. That's my next sweater.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited for it.
So I went shopping in my stash.
Good girl.
Um,
Oh, I love these colors.
So there are two things that I really love. The sweater that I wore on our first podcast, which is the diaphanous raglan. In everything about it, I love. And I am not in love with mohair anymore. And
is
so this is my
beautiful.
last full skein of mohair, and I just
Wow.
want to have something to use it with. So I have to swatch these two together because I don't know if they're going to work.
Kim,
I think it's beautiful. It's by Lavender Loon. I bought it at Vogue Knitting Live New York last year in the Stephen B booth. This
really
is
pretty.
a skein of hedgehog skinny singles. I don't remember the color.
it's really pretty.
So I'm, but really
But
lightly
very
speckled.
light, exactly.
And
And
so,
it's like toasted.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how they're going to knit together. And I have enough, whatever I used, and I don't even remember. I do remember this skein was a lot lighter than the other skein in this color that I had. So whatever I used the little bit in, which is
You'll have
maybe less than 20 grams. So I have over 80 grams here. And I could knit another. So that's one thing. And then the thing I just sort of stumbled on.
Yeah.
So I went in my stash looking for this skein, which is Eden Cottage Yarns. Kim brought this back, so we're really generous with each other. And when we travel to exotic places, bring yarn
My
back for each
nephews
other.
get nothing.
So it's their bowl and DK. What country were you in?
I was in England. That
In
was
England,
at
okay,
Loops,
so-
the Loops of London.
Yeah,
Which is
and
an
yes,
awesome
yes.
store.
I was thinking about this because I thought one of you talked about the
I
yarn
used,
that you were using.
I used mine
In
in
your
my
Soldotna.
Soldotna. The
blue.
blue, the dark blue is the Eden Cottage.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is not going to be a soldado.
Yep.
I already have one, and I don't want to knit another.
It looks those colors.
Although
Yes.
it probably could work. And then I found all of these. So this package here is a combination of this. The brownie orange is Madeline Tosh glazed pecan. These are all DK.
Gorgeous.
The green here is nice and knit olive juice, just like Kate showed in her Elton
right.
Yes.
cardigan. And this one is Primrose Yarn Company's Marquette DK in gingerbread, and that
Did you
just
buy
pulls.
that at Vogue?
I bought the gingerbread last year
Yeah.
Yeah.
at Rhinebeck. I
Rhinebeck.
dashed
Okay.
to their booth because I
Yes,
knew I
that's
wanted
right.
to knit
That was
some
your Guthrie.
a Guthrie. So
right?
my
Yes.
Guthrie is made of gingerbread
Yes.
and old tailored suit, all primrose. So this just has to be something, and I have 2 skeins of this and more than 1 skein of the glazed pecan. So
Thoughts?
Thoughts.
Audience? What should Lorien
She's
Yeah.
looking for ideas. The
So-
colors are
Colors.
They're
on-
beautiful.
aren't
beautiful
they
together.
amazing together?
Yes.
So
Yep.
they're going to
And
be
you want to knit
something.
a sweater?
It's going to be a sweater.
Yeah.
I do not want to knit a 4 to
So-
5 skein DK shawl.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing a 4 skein worsted shawl right now.
Right.
So I
No, they
I'd
need to be
love to hear ideas. I have in mind maybe doing my own design in sort of a boxy, not too long color work. I mishmash in my brain idea that's sort of crystallizing, but maybe there's something out there that I don't need to design myself and will already take advantage. Most of what I have is this. I have 2 full skeins of this, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home and get on Ravelry.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love doing
Yeah, I have in
Yeah.
mind something along the
like a yoke.
maybe a yoke. I think it's called the Crown or Jewel or Throne that
Have
recently
you
came
looked
out.
at the Strange Brew book at all?
Yeah, I own it.
She
I mean,
has
I've
that,
made a
yeah.
strange brew. I might
Yeah.
use that,
The
but I think I
recipe.
want
Yeah.
it to be a little bit wider, like the Novelli tee, but not cropped. So so, or
Okay.
not crop so much. I mean, I want it to be able to be something I wear. It's
I
gonna
love
be
those
warm.
colors.
I
Yeah,
wear in
beautiful.
fall, winter.
Right.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
at least
Yep.
a 3/4 sleeve, if not
Yep.
a full sleeve. So,
Really pretty.
so it's gonna be. It'll be interesting. I think I also need to knit them together, but I'm definitely gonna finish this shawl because, that's got to be available
Yeah.
for Rhinebeck.
Right.
So that's
And
that.
you'll have that done by the end of the week.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe not weekend. Week. I
Week.
hope. I hope.
Yeah, I bet you
week.
will.
I hope
Yeah.
week. So and then I'm still on a mission at Rhinebeck to buy like a Bordeaux red, almost your color here, which is kind of interesting. Worsted weight yarn for a Louise poncho. That's happening. We'll be looking for Bordeaux red. So if you're at Rhinebeck and you spot it, hit us up. Let me know. We'll meet you.
I'm excited for Rhinebeck.
Yes.
I'd
Me
love
too.
going.
Me
I
too.
don't go there. Last year I didn't buy a thing, and this year I'm not.
Yeah.
But I love just the experience of
Being
it.
there
I love being
and
there.
seeing what everyone's wearing.
Sweater watching.
Yes,
Yes.
it's so
Yes.
fun, and
Such an-
everyone is just so
Yeah.
like-minded and loves knitting as much as we do. and
Yes.
Yes.
It's just a fun day,
It is.
and
It
we
is.
get to be together.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That'll be our next. We'll probably won't podcast again until
After
after
Rhinebeck,
We-
right. Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
so
So
we'll
please, if
take
you're there,
picks.
come say hello to us.
And again, thank
Yeah.
you so much for watching.
Oh my gosh, yes, we are
We're just
totally.
shocked,
Yeah.
shocked
Yeah.
and humbled and.
Yes, our
Yes.
teenagers are especially
Oh
shocked.
yes, yeah, yeah.
I haven't
Yeah,
told
they're-
my
they're-
teenage mom. My
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
blown
Something,
away.
young adults.
Yeah.
They're
teenagers.
blown away.
They
They're
are,
like,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They're like,
So-
how are you promoting it? We said, well,
I don't know. I
we
pressed
don't
the
know.
button.
We put it on YouTube. They're like, oh.
I know.
Yeah.
So,
And lots of credit to Kim for all the editing.
yes,
no kidding.
yes.
Because
big
Thank you,
learning
Kim.
curve with
Yeah.
editing and lots to learn. But
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
learning new things. So.
We
Wow.
should tell people about the Ravelry group.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I will be posting the show notes. We made a Ravelry group, Knitting Posse, and we'll try and link it below this video.
Correct.
I said try.
If not,
Um,
type it in.
Yes, yes. So we'll be posting show notes about what we talked about today.
Right. Right. So thanks again for watching.
Thanks for
and
watching.
Hope
Like-
you enjoyed this second episode.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
we had fun, and hopefully you'll come back again
Yeah,
and
we'll
watch
see
us.
you after Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy knitting.
Happy
Happy knitting.
knitting.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.